What's up? What's up? I'm back. I'm back like a juggernaut, bitch. This is Alexlexus coming at you with Lunchtime TV for a new gaming order. And this is going to be extremely short, or as short as I can allow it to be. But I know it's been a while since I did an installment, so I'm trying to slowly get back into rotation with the company. So, pretty much, there's just some things that yesterday kind of irked me. Now, those that I know fanboys of the Xbox One and PS4 are like they'll probably take this little segment and be like, "Oh yeah, haha!" Like, look, I try to be unbiased, and I'm just gonna give you the real. All right, I was me and Shinwar were talking. I guess when I was using the Snap feature for the Xbox One and having to have my 360 on. Now here's my scenario. Okay, we have Verizon Fios, a high speed internet here, right? And I don't have a cable box in my room, so pretty much the master one. My mom's using it. My brother-in-law, my sister have another one, and then my other sister also has a 360 that's being used as a cable box. Now, those of you on the 360 that have that Verizon Fios app can actually change channels. It pretty much is, I wouldn't say a direct replacement for a box, but I would just say that it's extremely convenient. Believe me, instead of having to go and rent an extra cable box from the cable provider, you can just use your console. And to me, that really worked wonders. And plus, if you get the standard Verizon Fios box, it has coax cable. It doesn't have the HDMI out like the one my mom has. So the 360, being that you can either do it wirelessly or through the 5 cable, you have the HDMI output, I guess, because you're using from the screen. And from time to time, I will plug that into my Xbox One. I will snap and play Killer Instinct while I'm watching like SmackDown or Raw or whatever other local television programming is available to me. Excuse me. So it dawned on me. I mean, why? There's some things with the 360 that are still better than the Xbox One. Now, I am still kind of tight with the Sony and Microsoft making their new systems in such a way where you have to still go back and forth between them without the lack of backwards compatibility and some of the features not truly crossing over. Now, that feature right there in the 360 is the main reason why I still keep my 360 hooked up, because like I can't seem to, there's no app or no functionality within the Xbox One to say, hey, you know what? You can change channels on the box, but you can do it on the 360, a more ancient system when you compared it to. It's like, damn, 360 is still doing things better than the Xbox One can. Now, I know Microsoft's plan was say, hey, you know what? Hook your cable box into it, but being that my cable box is my 360, it's just like, damn, I got two consoles on. And those of you who are dealing with Ps4 in New Jersey, it's like, hey, you gotta be mindful of that stuff. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, I mean the HDMI in is convenient, but not for gaming, because Shinwar and I were playing Ultra Street Fighter 4 a few weeks ago. I would say like the second week after I came back from Afghanistan, and I noticed there was like screen lag. I'm like, ain't this some shit? Like, you can't use it competitively. It's mainly for like, because I guess when Microsoft was pushing this out there, yeah, you can hook your competitor's console up to it, and but okay, yeah, just for viewing purposes, or let's say you want to hook up a HDMI out Blu-ray player or something, so that you don't have to stop or interrupt your game experience. I mean, it's a nifty thing. That's the only console of this new generation that offers that, but in the same right, it just, I wish that instead of being hardballed or pretty much cornered into, hey, you know what, The 360, you can use the Files app and actually change the channels on the system. But I mean, the X1 doesn't, and I'm like, it's just tedious to just keep going back and forth, unplugging this wire, unplugging that HDMI wire, and so on and so forth. I just Microsoft, if you can put that function inside the box of the Xbox One, I'd be a little bit more happy because between the 360 and my PS4, I have to keep changing. It's just too many consoles sitting on my table over here that you guys seen, or those who frequent our channel got to see back in the day. Like when I had my Sears Wrath rant video a few years ago, and you saw all my stuff. I'm like, man, it's just help the consumer out a little bit. Like I know that, hey, change is necessary to move forward, but there's some things that shouldn't be compromised. So that's all I really wanted to say on that. Same thing with the PS4. I guess for me, that system being the more powerful of the two, there should have been no reason why they couldn't do the backwards compatibility. I know the architecture, blah 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 blah, whatever. Shut up. But I'm gonna try out the streaming of like the older games on there, but to charge people for games they already own, like I have Metal Gear Solid 4, and I saw for $4.99 to stream it. I'm like, why should I have to? I already own the fucker. Like, come on. Like, I don't know. They just coming home from war, I was just like super excited, and I feel underwhelmed to say the least. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me with my transitioning back into like hardcore gaming news and you know I don't know. I just feel underwhelmed, a little bit let down because while I was away, I was like, oh man, I'm hearing all these great things, and then it's like that's it. Maybe like a former colleague who's a little older than me is just like, man, I don't know, like gaming doesn't really tickle my fancy. I know for PS4, I'm gonna get The Last of Us that remastered edition just to see where I'm at with it, but that'll be the first time I'm playing it, so that works out for me. But I feel bad for those who actually the early adopters. They get these games like Tomb Raider, and then there's a definitive edition. I would just say my advice to all of you: don't get. It's gonna hurt the company's wallets. I mean, but they should be a little more responsible. I'm not gonna buy something and then like a year later, or not even a year later, a few months later, oh yeah, here's the real version. That's why I went off on that Asura's Wrath thing. I'm like, don't do that. If you have the plan in place, just give us the main product for the bang for our buck. And I know Noop is gonna make some joke, but yeah, it's just don't try to piece off the game or degrade the quality. But if you want the premium edition, we're gonna charge you this on top of what you already paid. But it's just that's bad practice. I don't know that. Let me know what you guys think. But also, I finally got on Street Fighter 4 for Steam. Now, initially I was wondering how come I had to pay or whatever, but Combo Fiend had explained how to transfer my Gaming for Windows Live version, which still works. Take the code or what was that, the activation code, and put it into Steam. So now I was able to download the Steam version, and I still have my Gaming for Windows Live version, which still works. The funny thing is, how come Gaming for Windows Live is still working? I mean, I'm still playing Street Fighter 4 on there, still getting on Xbox Live on there, but then I'm hearing there's issues with the Steam version online. Now, I know I read an article when I was in Afghanistan that Microsoft all of a sudden reneged on getting rid of Windows Live. If even Capcom said that the Windows Live version of Street Fighter had better, more secure or stronger online architecture, why not still support it? It's just a thought. I think that if I can get the Ultra Street Fighter 4 upgrade for the Gaming for Windows Live version, I'm going back to that. But I know it's just you know what, Capcom, support the Windows Live version. It's something that's been working, and Microsoft hasn't pulled the plug. June 1st was supposed to be the last day, and then people are still on it. Microsoft said, "Hey, we're gonna continue to support it." I don't see why not, but hey, that's up to you guys. I mean, I would gladly pay for that one. I mean, I already have it on Xbox 360, but the PC version is a little more like I'm not gonna put something out there and it's just gonna be shit, especially when the online is a big factor for me getting certain games. So I don't know, Capcom, get it together. We will see. And Microsoft, if gaming for Windows Live is truly gonna endure after the supposed pulling the plug, I mean, hey, put it out there a little more. I had to dig for that article, and you know what? I'll probably put it in the comments if I'm not too busy after I publish this. But yeah, it's something that worked. Sometimes change is not always good, especially if the thing is not broken. So just something to think about. And finally, for my m.u.g.e.n guys, I know I had taken a long hiatus, and I would just say, um, I'm coming back slowly. I mean, in secret, I'm still trying to retool Asura and Goken. Dante is still in, like once I get, because my goal is I'm trying to do like a new base, which is more compatible with a lot of the new things that I have missed out on while I was away. I know there's new coding, new tricks, new ways to manipulate the m.u.g.e.n engine to do some wonderful things. So yeah, I'll just be revisiting some of my older projects, keeping them up to date, and probably bringing back some old stuff like the Dark Sean. I still have my sprite base. If I have to gut them and redo a lot of the things, believe me, it's so much more knowledge has come my way through criticism and just some good people in the community that had my back. That just say, hey, don't worry about the haters. Which initially I had that hey, you know what, I want to be that happy go lucky guy, but I did indulge in some of the flames because I guess I got baited into it. And I'm just a human being, you know what I mean? Because if those naysayers are the ones who are trying to crucify me were in my place, I'm pretty sure they probably might um, react in a way similar. Like I did, you know what I mean? I felt like the whole community just came down on me, so I'm like, hey, why should I stick around? But slowly but surely, I'm going to reintegrate, and my main thing right now is just doing Goken's half gi. And once I do that, maybe I'll take it further. I'll probably remove the gloves or just try to make them look more traditionally like the Street Fighter 4. But maybe I'll keep the fusion of the two to make him unique. So hey, he got the gloves, he got the beads, and I mean, just a little fusion or so. Because my main thing is so that he fits visually with a Street Fighter 3 taste. Everything else is just like my custom stuff, things that I like. So we'll see. But with that, in closing, make sure you check out our podcast. I'm trying to get myself back in the routine. Even if I'm not physically on the podcast, Nelson, Shinwar, Noob, the rest of the cast, they can take the helm. But I'm trying to see if we can do one for Thursday. But make sure those of you who've been donating to Nelson, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have something in store for you guys. All right. So with that, I'm out. I'll see you next time on the New Gaming Order podcast show. And one last thing, I got a deal with a good friend of mine who's gonna help us create that. You see this little logo with the splash? We're gonna get shirts on a white background to make it look kick ass. I mean, it's gonna be some good stuff. So I'll see you next time. Peace.